The day started like any other for Sarah Chen, lead communications expert at NASA's Jet Propulsion Laboratory. She sipped her coffee, scrolled through her emails, and prepared for another day of listening to the stars. Little did she know, today would change the course of human history forever. As Sarah put on her headphones, a strange signal caught her attention. At first, she thought it was just noise, maybe interference from a satellite or a glitch in the system. But as she listened closer, her eyes widened. This was no ordinary signal. It was structured, repeating, and unmistakably artificial. "Hey, Mike." She called out to her colleague. "Come take a look at this." Mike rushed over, his own coffee forgotten. As he listened, his face mirrored Sarah's shock. "Is that what I think it is?" he whispered. Sarah nodded, her hand shaking slightly as she adjusted the controls. "I think we just made first contact." The next few hours were a blur of activity. More experts were called in, government officials were notified, and the signal was analyzed from every possible angle. As word spread, the world held its breath, waiting for news. Finally, after what seemed like an eternity, the message was decoded. Its contents sent shockwaves through every nation on Earth. "AT&T Lion, humans of Earth. This is an official warning from the Galactic Empire. CAC all space exploration activities immediately. Stay on your planet. Any attempt to leave Earth's atmosphere will be met with force. This is for your own protection. Compliance is mandatory." The message repeated on a loop, leaving no doubt about its authenticity or intent. As news of the alien transmission spread, chaos erupted worldwide. People flooded the streets, some in panic, others in celebration. Religious leaders claimed it was the end times, while UFO enthusiasts shouted, "We told you so." Governments struggled to maintain order as they grappled with this new reality. In Washington, D.C., President Amelia Rodriguez called an emergency meeting of her top advisors. The tension in the Situation Room was thick enough to cut with a knife. "What are our options?" she asked, her voice steady despite the gravity of the situation. General Thompson, a grizzled veteran with more stars on his shoulder than most people had in their whole sky, spoke up. "Madam President, we're dealing with a technology far beyond our own. Our entire military might is likely no match for even one of their ships. So you're saying we should just roll over and obey?" snapped Dr. Yuki Tanaka, the nation's foremost expert on theoretical physics and space technology. "I'm saying we need to be cautious," the general replied. "We don't know what we're dealing with." As arguments broke out around the table, President Rodriguez raised her hand for silence. "We need more information," she said firmly. "I want every resource we have dedicated to understanding this message, and who sent it, and get me on a call with other world leaders. We're all in this together now." Meanwhile, in a small apartment in New York City, Alex Reeves watched the news unfold on his battered TV. Unlike most people, Alex wasn't scared. He was excited. As a lifelong sci-fi fan and amateur astronomer, he had always dreamed of this day. "Earth's not a prison," he muttered to himself. "It's a cradle, and it's time for humanity to grow up." With determination in his eyes, Alex opened his laptop and started typing. He had no idea if anyone would listen to him, but he had to try. Humanity couldn't just give up on the stars. Not now. Not when they were so close. As the sun set on this historic day, billions of people looked up at the night sky with new eyes. The stars no longer seemed distant and unreachable. They were a challenge, a warning, and a promise all rolled into one. The Galactic Empire had told humanity to stay away. But humans had never been good at following orders, especially when those orders went against their very nature. The warning had been given, but the defiance had already begun. Earth was about to show the galaxy what humans were really made of. A week after the shocking alien message, the world was still in turmoil. Governments struggled to maintain order, while scientists worked around the clock to learn more about the mysterious Galactic Empire. But nothing could have prepared humanity for what happened next. It was a quiet Tuesday morning when the sky suddenly darkened. People around the world looked up in awe and terror as a massive spaceship, easily the size of a small city, appeared in Earth's orbit. Its sleek, silvery surface reflected sunlight, creating a dazzling display that was visible even in broad daylight. In New York, Alex Reeves stood on his apartment rooftop, his heart pounding. "It's really happening," he whispered, his phone live-streaming the incredible sight to millions of viewers. At the United Nations headquarters, an emergency session was in progress when the news broke. The chamber erupted into chaos as delegates received frantic messages from their home countries. Secretary General Adebayo struggled to maintain order, his usually calm voice tinged with urgency. "Please, everyone, we must remain calm and united in the face of this unprecedented event." But calm was in short supply as reports flooded in from around the globe. The alien ship wasn't alone. Smaller vessels had been spotted entering Earth's atmosphere, heading for major cities worldwide. In Washington, D.C., President Rodriguez stood in the Rose Garden, surrounded by advisors and security personnel. She took a deep breath, straightened her jacket, and faced the sea of cameras before her. "My fellow Americans and citizens of the world," she began, her voice steady despite the circumstances. "We are about to make history. Representatives from the Galactic Empire have requested a meeting, and we have agreed." As if on cue, a sleek shuttle descended from the sky, landing gracefully on the White House lawn. The world watched with bated breath as the ship's door opened, revealing figures that were unmistakably not human. The aliens were tall, at least 7 feet in height, with slender bodies covered in iridescent scales. Their large, almond-shaped eyes scanned the crowd, and when they spoke, their voices were oddly melodic. "Greetings, people of Earth," the lead alien said, its words translated through an advanced device. "We are the emissaries of the Galactic Empire. We come with important information." President Rodriguez stepped forward, her hand extended in a gesture of peace. "Welcome to Earth. We are ready to listen." The alien nodded, its expression unreadable. "Your world sits upon a great secret, one that threatens the stability of the entire galaxy. We are here to contain that threat." A murmur ran through the crowd. Dr. Yuki Tanaka, standing nearby, couldn't contain her curiosity. "What secret?" she asked, ignoring protocol. "What threat?" The alien turned its gaze to her. "Your planet is home to an ancient and immensely powerful artifact. Its power, if unleashed, could reshape or destroy the galaxy. For millennia, your species has lived here, unaware of the danger beneath your feet." President Rodriguez's eyes narrowed. "And you expect us to just take your word for this? To abandon our home?" "We understand your skepticism," the alien replied. "But the safety of the galaxy must come first. We hereby order the complete evacuation of Earth. You will be relocated to suitable colonies." The announcement sent shockwaves through the watching crowd and the billions viewing around the world. Evacuation. Leave Earth. It seemed impossible, unthinkable. In her lab at NASA, Sarah Chen watched the broadcast, her mind racing. "There has to be more to this," she muttered, turning to her computers. If there was something hidden on Earth, maybe there were clues in the data they'd been collecting for years. Meanwhile, in New York, Alex Reeves was already rallying his online followers. "They can't just kick us off our own planet," he declared passionately. "We have rights. We have history. We belong here." As night fell, the alien ship loomed overhead, a constant reminder of the incredible situation humanity found itself in. The Galactic Empire had revealed itself, but their arrival had brought more questions than answers. In homes, offices, and shelters around the world, people grappled with the reality of their new situation. Earth, the only home humanity had ever known, was apparently sitting on a galactic powder keg, and the fuse had just been lit. The stage was set for a confrontation unlike any in human history. The question on everyone's mind was, what happens next? The world held its breath as global leaders gathered for an emergency United Nations session. The Galactic Empire's ultimatum hung heavy in the air: evacuate Earth or face the consequences. As the meeting began, it quickly became clear that humanity wasn't ready to give up without a fight. President Rodriguez stood at the podium, her voice firm and resolute. We cannot and will not abandon our home. Earth is not just a planet. It's the cradle of our civilization, the only home we've ever known. We reject the Empire's demands. A roar of approval echoed through the chamber. Other world leaders stepped up, one by one, to voice their agreement. The message was clear: humanity would stand united against the alien threat. As the session ended, Dr. Yuki Tanaka approached the president. Madam President, we need to find this artifact the aliens mentioned. If it's as powerful as they say, it might be our only chance. Rodriguez nodded. Assemble a team. Whatever resources you need, you'll have them. But be discreet. We can't let the Empire know what we're doing. Meanwhile, in orbit, the alien emissaries received the humans' response with cold indifference. They choose defiance, the lead alien mused. Unfortunate, but not unexpected. Prepare for the next phase. Back on Earth, the resistance was already taking shape. In New York, Alex Reeves had become the unlikely leader of a growing movement. His live streams, once watched by a few thousand sci-fi enthusiasts, now drew millions. They think they can just show up and kick us off our planet. Alex shouted into his camera. Well, they've got another thing coming. We're humans, and we don't go down without a fight. His words sparked a fire across the globe. From London to Lagos, Sydney to Sao Paulo, people took to the streets. Signs declaring Earth for humans, and we will not leave filled city squares. The Empire had unknowingly awakened a sleeping giant, the collective will of humanity. But not everyone agreed with this defiant stance. In many countries, groups formed advocating for cooperation with the Empire. They argued that resisting a vastly superior force was suicide, and that the aliens might be telling the truth about the danger. James Wong, a prominent businessman, became the face of this movement. We're being offered a chance to join a galactic community, he said in a widely broadcast interview. Why throw that away for misguided pride? We should be embracing this opportunity, not fighting it. These conflicting viewpoints led to heated debates and, in some places, violent clashes. The world teetered on the brink of chaos. In her lab at NASA, Sarah Chen worked tirelessly, poring over data, looking for any clue about the mysterious artifact. There has to be something, she muttered, rubbing her tired eyes. Some anomaly, some unexplained reading. Suddenly, her computer beeped. Sarah's eyes widened as she looked at the screen. That's impossible, she whispered. But the data was clear. There was a massive energy source, unlike anything they'd ever seen, deep beneath the Earth's surface. As Sarah reached for her phone to report her findings, the lights in her lab flickered. Outside, people pointed at the sky in horror. The Empire's ships were on the move, descending toward major cities around the globe. In Washington, President Rodriguez received the news with grim determination. So be it, she said, turning to her military advisors. If it's a fight they want, it's a fight they'll get. Initiate Operation Homeland Shield. Around the world, long-hidden defense systems began to power up. Weapons that governments had been developing in secret, inspired by decades of sci-fi and the lingering fear of alien invasion, were finally revealed. As the alien ships approached, humanity prepared for the fight of its life. The Empire had made its move, but Earth wasn't going down without a battle. The war for humanity's future was about to begin. In New York, Alex looked up at the approaching ships, a mixture of fear and excitement in his eyes. Well, folks, he said to his live stream audience, his voice shaky but determined, looks like the real show is about to start. Stay strong, stay together, and remember, this is our home, and we're going to defend it. The stage was set for a confrontation that would determine the fate of not just Earth, but possibly the entire galaxy. Humanity's defiance had been declared. Now, it was time to back those words with action. As the world braced for conflict with the Galactic Empire, a small team of scientists and explorers embarked on a secret mission. Led by Dr. Yuki Tanaka and guided by Sarah Chen's groundbreaking discovery, they set out to uncover the truth about the mysterious artifact hidden beneath Earth's surface. The team descended into an ancient cave system in the remote mountains of Tibet. As they ventured deeper, their equipment began to malfunction, affected by some unknown energy source. "This is it," Dr. Tanaka whispered, her voice filled with awe. "We're getting close." Suddenly, the narrow passage opened into a vast underground cavern. The team's jaws dropped in amazement. Before them stood an entire city, preserved for millennia, its architecture unlike anything seen on Earth. "It's incredible," breathed Mike, one of the team members. "But how is this even possible?" As they explored the silent streets, they came across a central building that seemed to pulse with energy. Inside, they found what they had been searching for: a glowing orb suspended in midair, radiating power. Dr. Tanaka approached it cautiously, her instruments going haywire. "This must be the artifact the Empire wants," she said. "But what is it?" Suddenly, the orb pulsed brightly, and a holographic image appeared. It showed scenes from Earth's distant past, revealing a shocking truth. Humans were not native to Earth. They were descendants of an ancient, advanced civilization that had hidden this outpost on Earth thousands of years ago. "We are the last of the predecessors," a voice echoed through the chamber. "We hid this seed of our civilization on your world, hoping one day our children would reclaim their heritage." The team stood in stunned silence as the voice continued. "The artifact you see before you is the key to unlocking the full potential of your species, but it also holds the power to reshape reality itself. This is why the Empire fears it. And you." As the hologram faded, the team heard a commotion from the cave entrance. Empire agents had followed them, and were now closing in. "We need to protect this place," Dr. Tanaka said urgently. "If the Empire gets their hands on this technology, it's over for Earth and maybe the entire galaxy." Meanwhile, on the surface, the situation was deteriorating rapidly. The Empire's ships hovered menacingly over major cities, their weapons primed. In New York, Alex Reeves led a group of civilians in a daring act of defiance, projecting massive holograms of Earth's landmarks onto the alien ships. "This is our home," Alex shouted, his voice carried by makeshift speakers. "We won't let you take it from us." In Washington, President Rodriguez received word of Dr. Tanaka's discovery. Her face paled as she realized the full implications. "So we're not just fighting for our planet," she murmured. "We're fighting for our very identity." She turned to her advisors. "We need to buy Dr. Tanaka more time. Initiate a global counterattack. Use everything we've got." Around the world, humanity's hidden defenses sprang to life. Advanced fighter jets took to the skies, engaging the Empire's smaller craft. Ground-based energy weapons, long kept secret, fired at the looming motherships. The Empire, caught off guard by the unexpected resistance, began to falter. But their superior technology still gave them an edge. Cities burned as their retaliatory strikes hit home. Back in the underground city, Dr. Tanaka's team fought desperately to hold off the Empire's agents. They used the ancient technology they found, barely understanding its power, but knowing they couldn't let it fall into enemy hands. "We need to activate the city's defenses," Dr. Tanaka shouted over the sound of energy weapons. "It's our only chance." As Mike worked frantically at an alien console, Sarah Chen made a startling realization. "The artifact," she gasped. "It's not just a weapon or a power source. It's the key to our evolution." Just as the Empire forces breached the central chamber, Mike managed to activate the city's ancient systems. A shimmering energy field enveloped the entire complex, pushing the invaders back. Dr. Tanaka approached the artifact, her hand outstretched. "It's time," she said, her voice filled with determination. "Time for humanity to embrace its true heritage." As her fingers touched the glowing orb, a blinding light filled the chamber. Above ground, the battling forces paused as a wave of energy pulsed across the globe. Humanity was about to change forever, and the real fight for Earth's future was just beginning. The blinding light that engulfed Dr. Yuki Tanaka spread rapidly, racing through the underground city and bursting to the surface. Across the globe, humans suddenly felt a strange tingling sensation, as if every cell in their bodies was being rewritten. In New York, Alex Reeves stumbled mid-speech, his eyes widening in shock. "What's happening to us?" he gasped, staring at his hands as they seemed to glow from within. Sarah Chen, still in the underground chamber, was the first to understand. "It's activating our dormant DNA," she exclaimed. "We're evolving." As the light faded, humans everywhere began to discover new abilities. Some found they could move objects with their minds, others could heal with a touch, and still others gained enhanced intelligence or physical strength. President Rodriguez, watching the chaos unfold from the White House Situation Room, felt a newfound clarity of thought. "This changes everything," she said, her voice filled with awe and determination. "We now have the power to fight back." But the Galactic Empire wasn't about to give up easily. Realizing the threat that an evolved humanity posed, they launched a full-scale attack. Cities around the world were bombarded from orbit, causing massive destruction. In London, Big Ben crumbled under alien fire. In Tokyo, skyscrapers toppled like dominoes. The Sydney Opera House was reduced to rubble in seconds. It seemed that even with their new powers, humans were still outmatched by the Empire's advanced technology. Dr. Tanaka, however, had a plan. "The artifact didn't just evolve us," she explained to her team as they raced back to the surface. "It's connected to a planetary defense system. We need to activate it." As they emerged from the underground city, they found themselves in a war zone. Empire ships filled the sky, raining destruction upon the Tibetan mountains. But now, with their evolved abilities, the team was able to fight back. Mike, who had gained superhuman speed, zipped between enemy troops, disarming them in the blink of an eye. Sarah, her mind now able to interface directly with technology, took control of a downed Empire ship, turning its weapons against its former masters. Dr. Tanaka, her consciousness expanded beyond normal human limits, reached out with her mind, searching for the keys to activate Earth's defenses. "There," she shouted, pointing to a distant peak. "The main control node is hidden in that mountain." As the team fought their way towards the mountain, similar scenes played out around the world. In New York, Alex Reeves led a group of newly empowered humans in a counterattack against the Empire's ground forces. His ability to inspire and coordinate others had been amplified, making him a natural leader in the chaos. President Rodriguez, her enhanced intellect allowing her to process information at incredible speeds, coordinated a global response from Washington. Under her guidance, the remains of Earth's military combined forces with empowered civilians, slowly pushing back the Empire's advance. But the tide truly turned when Dr. Tanaka and her team reached the control node. As Empire ships closed in on their position, Dr. Tanaka placed her hand on an ancient console. Instantly, the mountain beneath them hummed to life. Massive cannons, hidden for millennia, emerged from the Earth's surface all around the globe. In the oceans, gigantic structures rose from the depths, revealing themselves to be long-dormant starships. The planet itself seemed to come alive, responding to the threat against its inhabitants. "This is incredible," Sarah breathed, her technopathic abilities allowing her to sense the full scope of Earth's defenses. "We have an entire fleet at our disposal." The Empire, caught off guard by this sudden show of force, began to retreat. Their ships, once seemingly invincible, were now easy targets for Earth's awakened defenses. As the battle raged on, Dr. Tanaka made another startling discovery. "The artifact," she said, her eyes wide with realization. It's not just a weapon or an evolutionary tool. It's a key to the entire galaxy. With this knowledge, humanity now faced a choice. They had the power to not only defend their home, but to take their place among the stars. The question was, were they ready for such a responsibility? As the Empire's forces fled Earth's orbit, leaving behind a battered but unbroken humanity, Alex Reeves voiced the question on everyone's mind. So, what do we do now? The answer to that question would shape the future not just of Earth, but of the entire galaxy. Humanity had awakened, and the universe would never be the same. As the dust settled on Earth's initial victory, humanity wasted no time in preparing for their next move. The newly awakened fleet of ancient starships hovered in Earth's orbit, a testament to their ancestors' advanced technology and a promise of what was to come. Dr. Yuki Tanaka, her mind now able to interface directly with the ship's systems, stood on the bridge of the largest vessel. "It's time," she said, her voice filled with determination. "We take the fight to them." President Rodriguez, coordinating from a high-tech war room in Washington, nodded in agreement. "Launch the fleet. Show the Empire that humanity is not to be trifled with." With a thought from Dr. Tanaka, the massive ships surged forward, breaking free from Earth's gravity and shooting towards the stars. The counterattack had begun. In New York, Alex Reeves watched the fleet's departure on a giant screen in Times Square. "Go get him," he cheered, the crowd around him erupting in excited shouts. His voice, amplified by his newfound abilities, reached across the globe, inspiring millions. As Earth's fleet approached the Empire's nearest stronghold, a massive space station orbiting a distant star, they were met with fierce resistance. Empire ships swarmed like angry hornets, their weapons blazing. But humanity was ready. Sarah Chen, her technopathic abilities now extended to the entire fleet, coordinated their defenses with impossible speed and precision. "Shields holding at 89%, she reported calmly. Returning fire. The battle was intense, with losses on both sides. Earth ships, despite their advanced technology, were piloted by crews new to space combat. But what they lacked in experience, they made up for in determination and their evolving abilities. Mike, now the fleet's chief engineer, raced through the ships at superhuman speed, repairing damage almost as fast as it occurred. "We can't keep this up forever," he warned, his voice strained. "We need a plan to end this quickly." Dr. Tanaka, her expanded consciousness taking in the entire battlefield, saw an opportunity. "There," she said, pointing to a weak spot in the Empire's defenses. "If we can get a small team aboard their command station, we can shut down their entire network." President Rodriguez, watching the battle unfold through advanced holographic displays, made the call. "Do it. Send in our best." A small, elite team was assembled, led by Alex Reeves, whose ability to inspire and lead had made him a natural choice. As their shuttle approached the Empire's station under the cover of the raging battle, Alex turned to his team. "Remember," he said, his voice steady, "we're not just fighting for Earth anymore. We're fighting for our place in the galaxy." The insertion was harrowing, with Empire forces nearly destroying their shuttle. But they made it, breaching the station's hull and fighting their way towards the central control room. As they advanced, they encountered something unexpected. Not all of the Empire's forces were fighting back. Some seemed confused, even supportive of the humans' cause. "What's going on?" Alex asked the surrendering Empire soldier. The alien, its features surprisingly similar to a human's, replied, "Not all of us agree with the Empire's actions. Your awakening, it's fulfilling an ancient prophecy. Many believe you are the rightful heirs to the galaxy." This revelation spread quickly through the human forces. The Empire wasn't a monolith. It was fracturing from within. Back on the main battlefield, the tide began to turn. Empire ships began to stand down, some even turning against their former allies. Dr. Tanaka, sensing the shift, pressed the advantage. "All ships, focus fire on the command station's main reactor." The combined firepower of Earth's fleet, along with the defecting Empire ships, was too much for the station's defenses. In a spectacular explosion, the heart of the Empire's power in this sector was destroyed. As cheers erupted across the human fleet, Alex and his team made a startling discovery in the station's archives. "Dr. Tanaka, President Rodriguez," he called urgently. "You need to see this. It's not just Earth. There are other hidden worlds out there. More of our people, waiting to be awakened." The implications were staggering. Humanity's victory here was just the beginning. They had not just defended their home. They had taken their first steps towards reclaiming a vast, forgotten legacy. As the battle concluded, with Empire forces in full retreat, humanity faced a new challenge: what to do with their newfound power and knowledge. The galaxy was opening up before them, full of both promise and peril. Dr. Tanaka, looking out at the star-filled vista, summed up the feeling of many. "We've won this battle, but our journey is just beginning. The real challenge now is not just to survive, but to become the kind of civilization that deserves this legacy." The counterattack had succeeded beyond their wildest dreams. Now, the true test of humanity's character was about to begin. The Earth fleet hung in space, victorious but contemplative. The Empire had retreated, but the revelations from their defeated command station had changed everything. Humanity was not alone. There were other hidden worlds, more of their kind waiting to be awakened. On the bridge of the flagship, Dr. Yuki Tanaka stood with Alex Reeves, Sarah Chen, and a holographic projection of President Rodriguez. The weight of their newfound responsibility was palpable. "So, what's our next move?" Alex asked, breaking the silence. President Rodriguez spoke first, her voice firm. "We need to approach this carefully. We're not conquerors, we're liberators." Dr. Tanaka nodded in agreement. "Our priority should be finding these other worlds and awakening our kin, but we must also be prepared for the Empire's return. They won't give up easily." As if on cue, Sarah's enhanced senses picked up a transmission. "We're receiving a message," she announced, her eyes widening. "It's from the Empire's capital." The group tensed as the message played. To their surprise, it wasn't a threat, but an offer of negotiation. The Empire, shaken by humanity's display of power and the fulfillment of ancient prophecies, was proposing a ceasefire. It could be a trap, Alex warned, his natural skepticism heightened by recent events. Or it could be our chance to reshape the galaxy without further bloodshed, countered Dr. Tanaka. After much debate, a decision was reached. Humanity would accept the negotiation offer, but from a position of strength. They would continue to search for the other hidden worlds while a delegation prepared to meet with the Empire. Back on Earth, the changes were profound. Cities were being rebuilt with advanced technology, and people were learning to harness their new abilities. Schools were established to teach control and responsibility, ensuring that humanity's evolution didn't lead to chaos. In New York, now a shining example of human and alien technology working in harmony, Alex led one such school. "Remember," he told the class of eager students, their eyes glowing with newfound power, "with great ability comes great responsibility. We're not just citizens of Earth anymore, but of the galaxy." Meanwhile, Dr. Tanaka and Sarah headed the mission to find the other hidden worlds. Their first discovery was a planet in a nearby star system, its inhabitants living in primitive conditions, unaware of their true heritage. As they activated the planet's dormant artifact, Dr. Tanaka couldn't help but feel a sense of awe. "We're not just awakening them," she mused to Sarah. "We're reuniting a family that's been separated for millennia." On Earth, President Rodriguez prepared for the upcoming negotiations with the Empire. The United Nations had evolved into a global government, with Rodriguez elected as humanity's first galactic representative. "We stand at a crossroads," she addressed the world in a historic speech. "We have the power to shape the future of not just our planet, but countless others. Let us move forward not with vengeance or domination in our hearts, but with wisdom, compassion, and the spirit of exploration that has always defined humanity. As humanity expanded into the stars, awakening their kin and rediscovering their ancient legacy, they faced new challenges. The integration of different human offshoots, each evolved in unique ways, led to cultural clashes and philosophical debates about the nature of their shared identity. Moreover, not all members of the Empire were ready to accept humanity's rise. Skirmishes broke out on the fringes of known space, requiring constant vigilance. Yet, for every challenge, humanity found new strengths. Their diversity, once a source of conflict on Earth, became their greatest asset in adapting to the complexities of galactic civilization. 5 years after the initial conflict, humanity had established itself as a major force in the galaxy. The negotiations with the Empire had led to a fragile peace, with both sides working towards mutual understanding. As Dr. Tanaka stood on the observation deck of humanity's first intergalactic colony ship, preparing to venture beyond the boundaries of known space, she reflected on their journey. "We've come so far," she said to Alex and Sarah, who stood beside her. "From a species confined to one planet, ignorant of our true nature, to this. But our greatest adventures, our greatest challenges are still ahead." Alex nodded, a smile on his face. "Well, wherever we go, whatever we face, we'll face it together. As one humanity, united and awakened." As the ship's engines hummed to life, preparing to make the jump to unexplored regions of the galaxy, the three friends looked out at the star-filled vista before them. The future was uncertain, filled with both promise and peril, but one thing was clear: humanity's new era had only just begun.